Walk down any major commercial street in Taiwan today, and the signage tells a specific demographic story. In many neighborhoods, international remittance shops and imported cargo stores now stand as permanent fixtures of the streetscape. It is now common to see Thai, Indonesian, and Malaysian restaurants operating on the same block as local businesses, serving a customer base that is becoming equally mixed. This diversity reflects the island's history of immigration. It is the physical manifestation of a society that has been slowly accumulating new layers of culture for decades. These storefronts represent a demographic reality that is already here. They set the stage for an entire generation currently learning to navigate this blended environment. While the adults run the shops, a younger generation is growing up inside them. These second-generation immigrants live their lives within the overlap of two very different spaces. That overlap creates a unique internal tension. Many find themselves in a vacuum, caught between the distinct expectations of domestic life and outside society. Inside the home, or during summer visits to their maternal countries, they encounter a deep reverence for heritage. They see it in the preservation of traditional dress, like the Vietnamese áo dai. Reconciling that heritage with the pressure to fit in at school can lead to a sense of isolation. For many, childhood is defined by the feeling of being distinctly different from their peers. This dual existence creates a cultural gap. The central challenge for this generation is figuring out how to build a bridge across it. Vina, a university dance student, lived within that tension. She grew up in Taiwan with a Vietnamese mother, navigating two worlds that rarely touched. Vina decided to confront her feeling of isolation by seeking out her maternal roots, choosing to engage with her heritage rather than distance herself from it. She learned the complex art of traditional Vietnamese opera directly from her mother, using the movements to access her family's history. This required intense dedication. Through the specific language of the opera, Vina established a physical connection to a past she had previously only observed. Reaching backward into her mother's culture was a deliberate first step. It provided the material she needed to address her identity crisis. Vina brought this material to her university's talent contest. It was the first time she would attempt to let her two worlds collide in public. The first element of her performance used the stylized, historical movements of Vietnamese opera, the foundation she had inherited from her mother. She then introduced the contemporary energy of modern street dance, a style that reflected her life and upbringing in Taiwan. During the performance, she successfully fused these two seemingly incompatible movement styles into a single, highly energetic and cohesive routine. By merging these distinct movements, Vina created a new vocabulary for her identity, one that turned her dual background into a specific, visible advantage. Vina won the contest. The audience's reactions suggested that her synthesis of cultures resonated with a society also looking for ways to connect. For Vina, seeing her two worlds coexist on stage made the idea of choosing between them feel unnecessary. She realized she could inhabit both cultural identities at once. The isolation of her childhood gave way to a sense of pride, as she realized her family's background was the source of her creative strength. Vina's experience provides a blueprint for others. It demonstrates that reconciling multiple heritages is possible when an individual chooses to embrace the full complexity of their background. Looking back at the diverse streetscape where this story began, it's clear that Vina is not an isolated case. A person's identity is shaped by a web of factors: family history, geographic location, and chosen passions. Because of these intersecting inputs, the question, "Who are you?" rarely has a single monolithic answer. The social landscape of Taiwan is becoming as diverse as the people who live there. Its strength depends on individuals who can look at two separate worlds and find the specific points where they connect.